What's going on, everybody? It's just another day in the kitchen, back with another episode, and in today's video we're taking a look at Compton's very own, aka Kendrick Lamar, and what I consider to be his best damn merch. Now before we get started, I want to give a special shout out to the homie Strain Beats, who's been cooking up the beats for these videos, so make sure you guys check him out. And while you're here, you might as well drop a like and subscribe and join our free Discord to stay up to date with the latest and the greatest. Shout out to all of my chefs in there. Now, if you're anything like myself, over the last couple of weeks you've been tuned in to the latest hip-hop civil war currently taking place between Toronto's Six God Drake and of course Kendrick Lamar. And given that I've made a video already exploring Drake's best merch, I was inspired to make today's video, which takes us back 7 years to April of 2017, in which we saw K-Dot aka Kendrick here drop a very unique collection in support of his Grammy award-winning album, Damn. And to start off this collection, we have the following $60 hoodie, which goes on to set the tone thematically for the rest of the merch that we'll see, as we will go on to see the repeated use of these Asian phrases and language, as well as some Asian thematic art themes. And if you're wondering if this is random or simply a stylistic choice, it's actually part of a character that Kendrick built as part of this era titled Kung Fu Kenny. And to further paint the picture, check out the following promotional video that played at his concerts.
你学得很厉害，你学得不够，你为了刚好你做得非常大。You are the one who will bring the glow back.
The first technique is shell shock.
So now that we've seen Kendrick enter his Kung Fu Kenny era, in which we would also see him take the stage wearing similar outfits inspired by Kill Bill, I wanted to point out the following merch, which honestly shares the same kind of themes with martial arts and Kung Fu and things like that, thus making the connection in case you weren't familiar or simply not getting where this whole character came from. And given that this merch dropped 7 years ago, I was curious how much this would cost in 2024, so adjusted for inflation, you'd only be paying about $10 more or $50 for the long sleeve, which is honestly pretty reasonably priced, especially given how huge Kendrick is. Now, as far as my favorite piece of merch from this collection, it's definitely this yellow long sleeve right here, which I think is a perfect piece to stand out in my actual wardrobe, as I don't wear a whole lot of yellow myself, and it's just loud enough to be different. And if these first few pieces of merch from the collection aren't speaking to you, Kendrick has your back, as he would go and add the following 2 t-shirts, which were available for $35, which of course featured the title of the album, Damn. And if you found yourself vibing, getting all sweaty listening to this album, Kendrick had your back, as he would also have the following novelty towel, which was among one of the first items to sell out almost immediately from this collection. Now, while Kendrick was selling out arenas and selling out merch at every single stop, he would also go on to restock as well as add several new designs about a year later, which are featured in the following photos. And in addition to this restock that took place about a year after the initial release, Kendrick would also go on to drop a series of pop-up shops throughout the US as well as globally that featured the opportunity for fans to not only pick up these new pieces, but also meet the man himself, which we honestly haven't seen artists do enough of since COVID really, and although I understand the security aspects of everything, I really hope to see more artists do something like this in the future. Now for the next portion of this video, I just wanted to paint a picture of how lit these pop-up shops were, as like I mentioned, K-Dot himself was actually pulling up, so just imagine being a fan and not only picking up some dope city exclusive merch, but also running into Kendrick Lamar himself, who at this time was already a global artist and cementing himself as part of the big 3. So if you'd like to see Kendrick do these pop-up shops again in the future, let me know in the comments. Now, in addition to meeting the legend himself, like I mentioned, these pop-up shops actually featured some dope city-exclusive unique pieces which Kendrick would actually wear himself when pulling up to these various pop-up events. And if that doesn't inspire you as a fan to pick up the pieces, I don't know what will. Because like I mentioned in every artist video, I think it's always super important and impactful for artists themselves to be spotted wearing their own merch, because if you don't even like it, why should we as fans, if you get what I'm saying? Now, with all that being said, between the reasonably priced merch, the overall Kung Fu Kenny aesthetic, and the ability to run into Kendrick at his own pop-up shop itself, I'm very impressed with this collection in this Kung Fu Kenny era. And for the icing on the cake, Kendrick would also go on to debut his new Nike collaboration in the form of this Nike Cortez Kenny 1. And if you guys would like a longer video exploring that, let me know in the comments, as I was lucky enough to get my hands on it all those years ago. And for those of you that are still watching, I truly appreciate you, so I wanted to share the following signed autographed Kendrick Lamar Damn vinyl that I was able to cop from his official website in a very limited edition release sometime in 2017. Now, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching, and I'd love to know what your thoughts are in the comments. Personally, I really love this Kung Fu Kenny era, and while the merch itself isn't super flashy, I think it perfectly represents Kendrick, as he himself has been pretty laid back throughout his entire career, and I feel like the merch definitely represents that. And if you would have picked up any pieces from this collection and era, let us know in the comments. Now, depending on when you watch this video, I want to wish all of you a happy Mother's Day, and especially shout out to all the moms who doubled down and played the role as dad as well. You guys are recognized, so we appreciate you. As always, guys, thank you so much for cooking with the kitchen. I hope that you all had a wonderful weekend. Remember to stay safe out there. Let me know who you guys would like to see me cover next. And as always, remember, it's lit. Straight up. And peace.